Hi there, Mike the MC, bringing another self-care video. Today I'm going to share with you the weeds and the plants, overcoming divorce. And to me, I feel like this is a topic that I really want to talk about because as part of being a counselor, social worker, someone in the faith who wants to help people to overcome negative obstacles, I think this is a topic that needs to have further discussion just to consider, okay, I read from a book by Mr. Fisher. I'm bringing this one by Bruce Fisher, Rebuilding. This idea of, okay, if we're going to help our people, our parishioners overcome divorce, and to help people who are single and maybe trying to recover, trying to find that strong person in their life, a friend, we should not bash them all the time for being in that situation of a divorcee, being single, overcoming a negative situation, and to put the blame on them to say, hey, you're just rotten because you just lost a husband or a wife, you're just a no good person. Now, there are situations where we have to consider those things, of course. I'm not saying all relationships were healthy with regards to the dumper and the dumpee, but before I jump into all that stuff, let's go into this topic a little further and let's get this started. So, here is from the topic of today that I want to share with you about divorce. This idea of helping parishioners, helping the people in our lives overcome this terrible situation. And I'm just passionate about this situation because I really feel like relationships can flourish, but with a lot of difficulties today, looking at the first glance, the first looks of a person, looking at, okay, forget the long-term ideas, let's look at the short-term. This lady, this guy, they're hot, they're gorgeous, okay, forget all the red flags, right? I want to make love, I want to be in a relationship because I feel needy, I'm codependent. All those negative things that put us in a terrible bind in the first place, that negative mindset that really put us into toxic situations, and to think, okay, how can I help people in this case with this video today to overcome that negative thinking, to overcome those negative downfalls, even to where, okay, maybe they did get dumped and now they got to find peace again. And so going back to what I was alluding to earlier by Bruce Fisher in the book of Rebuilding Relationships here, of the dumper and the dumpee. The dumper usually will be the one who, as he puts it, will feel a little guilt in the sense that, okay, I left somebody behind, or maybe they don't. I mean, everyone has their take on a dumper, but the dumpee, yes, feel that rage, feel that anger. Right, they left me behind, oh, or even guilt, oh, why didn't I see this coming? Why didn't I take care of my kids in the process when I knew that person was not going to help me in the long run because of a difficulty that just came into our lives? Now we're left to flee for ourselves, left to take care of our own because now we don't have a supporter. We don't have the wine bread, we don't have the giver in the relationship, right? The person who can support us now, because now we lost the income, we lost the support, we lost the house, we lost all of that structure, and now we have no protection. We're on our own, we're on the street. My kids now have to go find their aunt and uncle, they have to go with their grandparents, etc. How can I now recover in this situation? I mean, those are just real situations to consider to help somebody. And from my perspective, I see so many clients throughout the week as far as, okay, people have lost people that were important in their life. Maybe it was an unfortunate cause, death, situation, etc., that took them out of their life. But if it was someone that dumped them, the dumper, it's like, oh my gosh, how do you help a person regain their self-confidence, that self-esteem, to rebuild themselves back up to where they can go out and date somebody again, to feel intimacy, to feel love, to have attraction. And with Bruce Fisher's book, he goes into several building blocks along the way, to where one of those building blocks is about sexual intimacy, to regain confidence in yourself, to have a date, to not feel so guilty or embarrassed. Because so many people, after they've gone through a terrible breakup, relationship, etc., a split, and now they want to get back into dating, having a relationship, they feel that embarrassment because it's like, okay, I was just dumped on. Do I have confidence in myself to go out there, to be with somebody, to be out there on a date with someone and not think, okay, in the back of my mind, going through all these flashbacks, these negative triggers, will I be enough for this person? Will I ever be enough for this relationship that can happen, etc., etc.? Will I ever be enough? But see, that kind of mindset right there, that negative mindset, is what puts somebody down from finding that healing. And so he goes into those steps as one of those pieces of loneliness, despair, isolation, and then working from those building blocks all the way to the top like a pyramid. The lowest base being the biggest, and then the next level just a little smaller. Then finally, when you get to the top, the one block he points out is freedom. Freedom to love yourself without guilt, without judgment. How many of us would love to be at that level already, where I'm not going to judge myself anymore? I love myself for my beauty, my brain, my ideas, my capability, my ability to learn, to grow, to be. I'm just a beautiful person. Wouldn't that be awesome for everyone to find? I think so. And I think that is something to explore, and to let you know, if you have been in a divorce or been through a separation, you have beauty, you have self-strength and worth that is so awesome. And you can be the person, the hero in your story. You can be that person. Gotta believe, have faith, continue forward, to not give up on yourself, to build skills that'll help you grow, to help you become a person that is someone that people trust, right? And that is why I go into this idea of the weeds and the trees, right? This idea, okay, the weeds were those dumpers that just left us immediately. We thought they were exciting. We thought, okay, I'm going to go with the hot guy, the hot girl with that Lamborghini, the Mustang, etc. They got the big house in the block, right? They got this beautiful company. They got all these things, beautiful family, kids, right? I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of something great. And so I want to jump into this relationship right away and forget the consequences, right? Ignore all the red flags. But that is so dangerous, and that's the gamble. That is why I reference here with Ben Graham with this book on investing, as we all know, by Warren Buffett, a very famous investor, someone who has been so smart with his investments. He goes into the book with Ben Graham, a mentor, that, okay, if I'm going to be an investor or a speculator, which one will I be? And so he goes into this idea, okay, to invest into something, you want to have some ownership. This idea that, okay, I'm going to stick with this investment over time, be comfortable with the ups and the downs, but eventually my value will come back. The investor wants the value. The speculator wants the excitement. They're looking at the market price, that value right there on the spot. Forget the ups and the downs. I just want this price, but they're not looking around the big picture. They have a tunnel vision. That's the danger of being a speculator. You're looking at, with your tunnel vision, this hot guy, this hot girl right now, in the moment. I think they're going to make me so happy. Forget all the negative sides with the situation. This is going to be fun. But when, as an investor, you are no longer in tunnel vision and you start to expand your peripheral vision to see, oh my gosh, this person has been through divorces, been through toxic relationships, is an abuser, uses drugs, is someone involved with gangs, etc., etc. You go with all the negatives. And now when you're no longer tunnel vision and you're expanding that peripheral vision to see all the negative red flags in that person, you can say, oh my gosh, there's no value for me long term. See, now you became speculator to investor, because now you can see the red flags and get away from a toxic situation before you become the next dumpee in that person's life. See, I don't want to be dumped on. I don't want to be the one to let somebody come into my life and destroy it. No, 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 no. Boundaries are healthy. Going back to Bruce Fisher, boundaries are healthy, and when you reach that building block of self-respect, love, and worth, where you love yourself, now you can set up boundaries, and you're able to go out into the world and deflect all the negative criticisms, judgments that people throw at you. Oh, you're not hot enough. Oh, you're not tall enough. Oh, you don't have red hair, blonde hair, black hair, brown eyes, blue eyes, whatever. You don't have all those things. Oh, forget you. I have other people in my life. I have value. And I know someone who's going to love me for who I am in the process as I get stronger and better. And that is the thing. When you start to love yourself and develop value in you over the long run, see, now for a partner, if they recognize that, wow, okay, now the relationship is going to flourish. You got to have that patience and the love of somebody. I'll throw in an example. So when you have puppies, my family just had puppies from our dogs, right? And so some of the puppies are strong and big and mighty already, getting all the milk, they're fat, they're happy, they're just moving around, they're all just jumping, they're all happy around the mama. Now some of them are skinny though. Some of them are not competitive enough to get to the milk, the nutrition, right? And so they're skinny, they're kind of a little scrawny, right? They're all trying to make it around just to get what they can. And so to get the milk that they need, right, my mom will help them with get the milk from the refrigerator and just help them right there. But the thing is, okay, so someone is frail, weak. And my point is, if someone is frail and weak and they're not the hot option right now, they don't have the high market value, and you want to go with the bad boy, bad girl right now in this moment, where they are the strong and buff. And maybe they will turn out to be great at the end with your tunnel vision, that's what you see. But if that scrawny person, that scrawny, weak, nerdy person, however, see, I was a nerd so I can reference this, becomes something of value, owns a company, has a presence online, has all these things going for them because they started to grow and really become a tree. They're not a weed, they're a tree. They allowed their roots to develop. They became taller, started to bear fruit. Look at that. See, I can now share with you my videos, the different references through different medias. I can share with you ideas. I can now relate by reading all these books that I like to read. I like to study. I can share ideas, being practical. Now that I can share fruit, become a tree, provide shade, protect the people in my life, protect and give some cover, all of a sudden, the value in me is surpassing all those bad boys, those bad girls, because now I can own the Lamborghini, the Mustang, and put the people on their back because I now am working out, taking care of my body, have love, self-respect. See, I was in it for the long run, and now I'm flourishing, moving higher. See, and the thing is, a lot of divorces, now I'll reference here with Gottman, with the 7 principles of making marriage work. One of the negatives is when a guy recognizes, okay, now that there's a child in our relationship, that child is now taking time away from his wife, the mama, and he's not willing to accept that, that's one of the red flags for the divorce to start coming about, because he's not ready to have someone take the limelight from him, to take his presence away in that relationship. The family's not adjusting well, and now he'll dump her and move on to the next lady. And the thing is, both parties, and this goes vice versa, see, have to be willing to accept that child family life if that is their goal at the foundation at the start and move up. If not, that foundation is just going to split. The different ideas at the start of the foundation are just not going to grow. The roots are not going to settle down. There's no longer a tree. Now everything turns into weeds, dries up, and there goes another statistic. But that's my point, in that, okay, if not everyone's on the same page, of course there's going to be a divorce coming along the way. And so when you're looking in the value for a person, a wife, a husband, etc., when you date, okay, with your peripheral vision, not just your tunnel vision, looking beyond the beauty of that person, if you can recognize, okay, there's some value in this person, they're going to hit the growth, they're going to hit that spike, and they're going to grow and start to protect me and the family, okay, maybe there's a chance this can happen. Now the thing is, it's up to you. Do you want the relationship or not? Because some people just like to date and go out, and okay, that's your call, that's your way to live life, okay, that's for you. But the thing is, for those who want that relationship, use your peripheral vision to see all the other factors around this person, to recognize, okay, maybe this is a good or bad person, and maybe we can build something together. And if I allow these circumstances to happen in our lives, having kids, having a home, etc., if we can start communicating healthily on these big situations, now we have a chance to survive these situations when they occur. And so with Gottman, he brings up this idea also of the nurture versus playtime. So the husband, right, wants to play with the kids. We want to have fun, right? We want to play, throw the football. We want to kick the soccer ball around the floor, right? We like to hold the little people, right? Just have fun and have a good time. Where the mama likes to be our nurturer. Are you okay, my little one? Are you okay? I love you. Oh, you're safe. You're okay. See, when those two mindsets are now understood, okay, you're taking care of the kid. Now I'm starting to see, as the wife is nurturing the child, okay, I'm starting to see eye to eye. And now the wife sees from the husband perspective, oh, you like to play. You like to have fun. See, now when the nurture and the play start to come together, okay, now you can help the relationship flourish. And Gottman will allude to, when there's some time for the husband to be with the kid, the children, as they grow up, that'll help the family grow and be very helpful for all the family and the wife. Because here's the thing, see, yes, you can nurture the child from the mother's perspective all day, etc. But without that fatherly figure, without that presence, it's just one of those red flags that could subtly destroy the relationship over time. Without that presence, that guidance of helping those children see a good role model of, okay, what is it you want to promote for your children? What do you want them to see from you, right? Share in the comments, by the way, also, if you like this video, if you're liking the topics that I'm discussing here. But the thing is, if you have words of advice on this, please share. But that's what I'm alluding to. What do you want your children to pick up from you to carry on into the next generations of the family? And then to consider that if those traits did not get passed on to the next generation, etc., it's okay. Forgive yourself. Factors come into play. School, friends, situations around the world, video games, etc. Right? All these influences will come into the life of the family and the kids. But when you have the safe dynamics like this at the start, where the nurture and the play come together, the husband and wife, everyone has that same foundation at the start, and you can build forward. The tree is there for all of the family to grow. And you won't turn into a weed or another statistic, and you'll be okay, and you will survive and push through. But for those of you who are a divorcee or have been dumped on, this video is also for you. To not give up on yourself, to build some self-esteem, to be strong, to recognize, hey, I have beauty, I can go out and not feel so awkward when I go on a date with somebody. I can rebuild my life. I can build the pieces, get them together, and start building up again. I can overcome. And like other ideas that I've shared with you, once you learn to pick up the pieces, those resources, and put them back to work for you, you will find beauty again. Finding time at the gym, finding time to study, finding time for the jobs, etc. And so when you're in it for the investment, the value, the long run, the long term, you'll be okay. You'll recover. And I really am rooting for you to be strong and courageous and to not give up. And for that message I was alluding to earlier with the church and the people, forgive, love your parishioners. Don't judge them so harshly. Speaking to all the leaders. Because if you are judging your flock, your people so harshly, of course you're going to lose people in your churches, etc. Because you got to love the people that have supported you along the way through the hardships. That's part of being a good father, mother, taking care of the flock. Help your kids. Help the people who you're trying to nourish as well. And I guess this can extend to all parents and grandparents as well. But the idea here is for all agencies, churches, to respect and love the people that are supporting those agencies, churches also. Because if you're not nourishing the roots themselves, if you're not giving water, trying to bring healing to those who are sick or injured, of course people are going to vanish and walk away from these places. And so you just got to consider, how am I going to be a good role model to help the people in my life, to not let them go in the dark without the resources to support and supply them when they run into hardship. Because if I'm not able to promote that self-growth in them, of course they're going to turn into weeds, dry up and die when they get to the wilderness, or they don't have a strong foundation, because I wasn't able to teach them those skills, and I feel bad as a parent along the way. And so for me to you, from this video moving forward, for you moving forward, how can this video help you, other people? How can these books, these ideas help you along the way find that strength to not give up on yourself and to put them to good use, to help your kids, to help people, and to recognize, okay, if I have resources, let me put them to good use, so that way I'm not feeling lazy. And for those parents who need help with parenting, role modeling, etc., Bruce Fisher will say, start a group up. Start something that'll help you and maybe single moms or dads to help find those parenting skills in your community. For those in the church as well, church leaders, consider this idea as well. Helping your parents, your families, with some parenting groups as well. Because maybe to help the children in the parish, why not help them with good parenting, good role modeling, etc. And for those who are wanting to have healthy relationships, same thing. Try to promote that in your parish as best as possible. And I mean, I didn't become a priest in the long run, but the thing is, I can share with you through the media what I can as well, for all people to listen, to learn. And one thing I'll share with you from Bruce Fisher to close off this book, this idea from him, that self-help books, they'll share all the intellectual ideas, right? These good ideas are great, but they mean nothing if they don't have that emotional connection from here to you. And so the thing is, we learn first from the emotional experience, and then with the intellectual ideas, we can grow. And so with emotions, now from me to you to finish off this video, you can overcome the negative places that I've been alluding to. You can learn from these experiences. Now share in the comments if you would like on the video what you think were good and bad ideas from this. Maybe I can improve my speech, my ideas further for you all to use. But the idea here is experiences help people learn from the past. Because I've had clients where they've lost their husbands and wives in unfortunate situations, and they fell into dark places, but now they're coming back from those dark places, and me as a counselor to help them, to nourish them, to find their strengths and to nourish those strengths to become leaders on their own. That is awesome to see, because some of them want to help other clients in the same capacity as well. And that is so beautiful to recognize that people can learn from the past and grow. And you can be a good teacher. Have patience and love your students and allow them to become teachers in their own right. And students, allow those teachers to flourish and keep them in mind as well, so that you don't leave them in the dark. And so you got this. You're strong. You're capable. And if that guy or that girl you run into in the store, etc., just walk away, move past them, and you don't have to confront them. And I mean, if you're brave, all right. If you're an extrovert, go and confront them. I don't care. The thing is, protect yourself always. Protect yourself. Be strong. And always remember, you don't have to take the backlash from a negative dumper. You are strong and you are courageous. You can overcome these negative situations. You're awesome. And always remember, from me to you, you got the ability to think outside the box. Critical thinking will help you get through these situations, but you have the emotional strength to overcome a negative person, and you can go up to that person and say, I'm awesome. You don't define me. I define myself. I'm going to get this done, and I'm going to find a good person in my life. Boom. All right, everyone. I hope this video finds you well. Be strong out there. All right. You can overcome divorce. Take care. Have a good one.